Hello, and today we're going to talk about our next wealth management principle, which is about getting started. We already studied a very related principle earlier, but this is slightly different from that, and it plays a role in every aspect of our life, including wealth management. We may dream big, we may dream big and start small, but the most important thing is to get started. And there are a lot of times we tend to fail in this area of getting started. We tend to procrastinate and we tend to delay things as if things are automatically going to change or improve in our favor. But that doesn't really happen most of the times. And that is why getting started becomes so critical, and we must take action as soon as we can. So we're going to study about this in this particular series. Let's get started. Ask yourself these questions. Have you ever procrastinated? Well, everyone has actually, and it is just the extent of procrastination that may vary from person to person. But everyone in life, almost every day, procrastinates. It happens to become a very serious problem if you tend to procrastinate too much, and we're going to see the extent of the problem that exists worldwide. Have you ever waited for the right circumstances in quotes before taking in the jump? Well, whenever we face a slightly tough situation, we tend to wait for circumstances to become correct, to be in our favor, before we can really go ahead and implement the decision that we have mentally taken already. And we keep waiting for the right circumstances, and more often the chances are that circumstances may tend to become even more complex, even more complicated for all of us to further take any decision. I have actually suffered from this quite a lot in my life, and we just build walls and excuses in our mind, gives ourselves a reason to stay in our comfort zone, and that's what tend to make our mind go in a direction where we tend to wait for the right circumstances before we really take into getting the decision executed. Have you waited till you had thought through the complete strategy? Well, it's a human tendency that we want to avoid risks, but you know what? The biggest risk that you take in your life is a tendency to avoid risks. So go on. I think after having thought through a particular situation, after having mentally prepared yourself to take a decision, don't build your walls. Just go ahead and take that decision. And you'll be surprised that as you move along, things will become more clear, it will seem less risky, and you will be happy that you took that decision. And whenever you have waited for the right circumstances or thought through and just thought that it's perhaps not the right time to get started, have you ever realized that in how many of such cases has waiting really helped you? It's proven that in most of the cases the waiting would have really deteriorated your situation. Things that are important tend to become urgent and important as you continue to wait for them. So this is a very, very generic topic, but it applies equally well to wealth management, so I thought it was very important that we cover this particular topic in our discussion today, and it's one of the key principles to really build great wealth over time. So what are you going to study now? In this particular session, we're going to understand the fourth wealth creation principle, which is to get started. We have already studied in the previous modules the amazing power of compounding, paying yourself first, and starting early. And we're going to see how the time-tested principle of get started applies in every aspect of life, including wealth management. And that's so important. It's not only that you're going to improve your probability of building great wealth, but you're going to inculcate a habit which is really going to help you succeed in all other areas of life as well. So let's understand some facts about getting started and procrastination. So if you look at this particular slide, you see that procrastination has more than quadrupled in the last 30 years. Now remember, in last 30 years, or forget about 30 years, in last 10 years, you have been exposed to the latest gadgets, technology at your fingertips, and they make you so productive. I mean, they're capable of making you so productive with respect to doing things quickly at your fingertips. But in spite of all that, procrastination has more than quadrupled, and that's something which looks very, very serious. Almost 90% of the students have problems associated with procrastination. That's very, very prevalent among the students category and among children who are studying and preparing for exams or preparing for competitive exams. It's very, very prevalent there. And there could be very, very deep rooted reasons for the same, which of course is out of the scope of this particular session. But what you're trying to say is it's not something which exists in 1 out of 100%. It's something which is very prevalent and therefore needs to be addressed. 40% of the people have experienced significant financial loss due to procrastination. Now that's something which really directly relates to our particular topic. We'll also see an example in the next few slides on how simple procrastination to save money in life can lead to a huge financial loss. 20% of people procrastinate so badly that it impacts their relationships, health, and financial life. Procrastination becomes a habit, and it feeds itself just like any other habit. So the more you procrastinate, the more stronger it becomes. It feeds itself. Procrastination slowly will become a natural part of you. It originates from your subconscious. You don't consciously procrastinate then once it becomes a habit, and it becomes a part of you itself. So be very, very mindful. You may be procrastinating today without even being aware that you are procrastinating. So that's something you need to critically look at yourself. You need to examine yourself, the acts that you're doing, and how many of these are really procrastinating acts, where you tend to build excuses just to not do things. And I'll tell you some typical examples of what I have experienced in my life. I have myself procrastinated, or I have seen people doing it so naturally that they don't even know that they're doing it. I'll open the bank account next month. Why next month? See, that's where we tend to lose the edge over other people to build great wealth. Why should we open the bank account next month? What is stopping us to do it today or tomorrow? Okay, unless we are extremely occupied, so occupied that we can't even make a phone call to our banker, there is no reason that we should wait for a month to open a bank account. There is nothing like opening it on first of the month or first week of the month. There is no rule like that. You can open it any time. Do not procrastinate. This 1 month that's lost is never ever going to come back, and it is going to have a huge impact on your wealth. Do not underestimate the importance of these small things. Let's not do it today. We have to go to the market next week. We'll club going to the mutual fund office that we need to go along with our market visit. And that's very, very common. Just for our convenience, we tend to club things together, but it's what it really results in is we tend to not do either of the things. Now we do not know what's going to be the situation in our life next week. We may have to shelf our market visit, and with that goes your visit to the mutual fund office also. And that's where we ignored or we delayed the entire process of opening a mutual fund account. We do not know how the market reacted during that week. We do not know how much money we lost. We do not know how much wealth we lost overall. Do not club things unless it's a real emergency. Never ever club things. It has never benefited anyone till date. I think I must open a securities account. Let me see when I get time to call the banker to get this done. Call right now. Or tomorrow during the daytime. Put it in your to-do list. Set an alarm. Do it. What do you mean when you say that when you will get time to call the banker? I have personally lost 3 years opening my own securities account after having mentally taken a decision that I need to get into securities and equity market. 3 years. Can you imagine how much wealth I lost in those 3 years? If I look at the returns that I get today from equity, I mean, you can't even imagine what I lost in those 3 years. And that was just simple procrastination. I never thought it's going to be so big, the equity stuff. I thought it's just, okay, maybe a few hundred rupees I'll lose, or maybe it's that I don't know whether I'll gain out of securities also or not. So we don't know the importance or significance of a particular thing before we are entering it, and we tend to delay it because we undermine its importance. And once the time is lost, it's lost. We'll never gain back that particular time. Anyway, so never, 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 never procrastinate. If you can do it right now, do it right now. I'll start investing once XYZ starts. Wow, that's something very typical I hear from a lot of my readers and fans, and they say that, oh, that guy XYZ, he's a wealthy man, he's a great financial expert, and he is starting on this particular thing after 2 months. I'll start with him. I think that'll be auspicious, that'll be great, that'll be wonderful. No dependencies, please. I would really not recommend here. Every journey is unique. We do not know why he's starting after 2 months. We have no idea about the circumstances in his life. But remember that every moment that you lose, you're losing your time. It's not going to come back for you. We do not know after 2 months whether he's going to be here, whether he's really going to get started or not, or why is he starting after 2 months. You have absolutely no idea. So your journey is unique. If you have a chance, get started as soon as you can. Okay, let's move on. Why do we procrastinate? Why do we really do it if we know it's so harmful? First of all, we don't do it consciously most of the times. It has become a habit, and that's why it happens subconsciously out of itself. There are many reasons why this habit gets developed, and one of which is lack of discipline. And discipline and commitment do not come easy, remember that, and therefore you have very few people who are wealthy in this life. Lack of urgency to do things. Urgency to do certain things comes with targets and goals which are written down on paper, and people who do not have written down goals, who have written down plans and working on those plans, they will never have the urgency to do things, and they will not pay themselves first. They will not save as per the plan, and that's why they will tend to procrastinate things, because there's no plan. They can do a particular thing on any date, and staying in comfort zone is always beautiful for most of the people, and they never become wealthy, by the way. Lack of written financial planning, we talked about it. A well documented financial plan is a must for success and wealth creation. Take the help of an expert. If you can't, try and do it yourself, but you must have targets, you must have written goals, you must have a written plan to really build great wealth. Lack of dreams or a mission to accomplish something worthwhile. Now, all this discipline, commitment that I'm talking about, this seems very painful if we are doing it without a proper purpose that's driving us. Therefore, it's important that you have a mission, a dream, a purpose you intend to accomplish. You must be clear in your mind, must be documented again, and must drive this entire discipline and commitment. It could be different for everyone, and I did it because I wanted to be financially free by a certain time, so that I could really be with my family, with my children, and do other things in life which are more important for me. Therefore, I created a plan. So you find out, why do you want to create a plan? What's your purpose? What's your dream? And that's going to drive most of the things for you. That's going to take procrastination away from you. So what steps can we take today to really stop procrastinating or start removing this habit of procrastination? First, make sure we have a written financial plan created by a professional. That plan must cover all aspects of your life. And if you cannot get it done by a professional, you can try it yourself. You can write to us, or we can help you create a plan without any charge. We don't charge anything for that. But make sure you have a written plan. Make sure you're tracking it. Okay, make sure you're tracking your financial plan on a regular basis, at least monthly. That plan that you create must be such that it's trackable, and at least at a frequency of a month, not more than that. Weekly, very good, but at least monthly. And why it's important? Because we must know whether we've created a plan, but are we going on track to really achieve that plan? And so many times we are off track and we need to tune ourselves, or we need to even tune the plan sometimes to really make sure that things are aligned, we are on track. Seeing the fact that we are on track every month itself is a great motivator. Itself helps us not to procrastinate things. Go and read good books, attend seminars, lectures to make sure that we inculcate discipline as a habit. And of course, books and seminars and lectures are really going to help you break this habit of procrastination, inculcate habits like commitment, discipline. But these are things that are going to help you not only in building great wealth but otherwise in life also. So invest on yourself. That's the biggest investment you would ever do in life. Because that's one of the biggest assets that you have, your potential to earn money, to earn wealth. That's one of the biggest assets, so invest there. Make a list of tasks for the day, prioritize it, and then go for it in the order of priority. It's simple as it says. Every day what I do is make a list of my tasks. Now that comes from a master list of to-do tasks which I continue to add as and when I get to think of a task that I must do. So make a list of tasks for the day, give it prioritization number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just go in that order. Don't think too much. Keep it simple. And take the first task, do it, then go to the second, do it, then go to the third. If for any reason the first task cannot be done right now, of course you're not going to sit idle. Go to the second one then and start doing it. But keep that sequence as far as possible, because a lot of times out of procrastination we tend to skip certain tasks, and we don't want you to do that, and therefore important to sequence it. Go as per the sequence. If it can be done, it must be done. Simple. Here's an example which really shows you how procrastination leads to financial loss, and we covered this example in an earlier session also, but it's important to understand from this perspective also. So who is going to be richer at the age of 60 years? Rohan, who starts investing at the age of 15. He invests rupees 500 per month, goes on to invest up to the age of 25, which means for 10 years, and then stops investing any more money. Kapil, who procrastinates opening a new bank account, and that's so typical. He says 15 is too young to open a bank account. I'll do it later. My entire life is in front of me, and this is so typical of young people. So he starts at the age of 25 instead of 15. But he says, okay, I started late compared to Rohan, so I'll overcompensate. Rohan saved only for 10 years. I'm going to save for 35 years. So he starts investing rupees 500 per month till the age of 60. So he invests for 35 years, expecting that he has overcompensated the delay, the procrastination he did in opening the bank account. Let's see who lost and how much. So Rohan, who did not procrastinate, had 29,56,000 rupees in his bank account at the age of 60 by investing only 60,000 rupees from the age of 15 to 25. Kapil had only 17.88 lakh rupees compared to 29.56 lakhs of Rohan. Kapil got 17.88 by investing how much? 2.1 lakh. Rohan got 29.56 lakh by investing only 60,000 rupees. Imagine, Kapil invested more, he invested for a much longer duration, ended up less. Why? Because he procrastinated. Procrastination is a very big enemy. Do not ever procrastinate. You have to look yourself critically to really see if you're procrastinating. There are a lot of things which can be done right now, but we're just saying, okay, we'll do next week, next month, with him, with her. We'll see how it goes. Maybe there are more risks. Nothing of that. So once you know a thing is right for you, go ahead, do it. We'll see what happens. So while starting early is important, many people just keep fending off their decision to start, losing the most critical lever to build great wealth, which is time. So start. Do not wait for the right circumstances, right situations, right time. This is the right time. Okay? We often underestimate the simplicity of small things like a to-do list. I would recommend everyone to prepare that list when they start their day. Ideally from a master list of your to-dos that you may be maintaining somewhere else. Start your day, take a plain sheet of paper, make a to-do list for the day, what are critical things to be done for the day. Sequence them 1 to 10 or 20, whatever number of tasks you have. Go only by the sequence. This is really going to help you, I'm telling you. This is going to help you come out of procrastination. You have no choice but to go to the next number in sequence, and unless it cannot be done because of unavoidable circumstances, you're going to stick to that number. Okay, starting small, starting early, and best part is starting can build huge wealth for you. So get started principle works with other principles like compounding, pay yourself first, start early, to leverage its power to build huge wealth for you. Do not underestimate the power in the simplicity of these principles. You can get seriously wealthy if you can leverage the power of get started along with other wealth management principles. We already seen that, how much money you lose if you tend to procrastinate. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can write to me at help@manoj-arora.com. You can visit our website www.manoj-arora.com. We offer most of our services free. You can come, visit us, write to us, and expect a response from our side. Thank you. Bye-bye.